Hello JavaScript community, hope everybody's doing well over here. Welcome back to OWASP Top 10 series. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most common vulnerabilities that affect the web application, which is the cross-site scripting, also known as XSS. So this web security vulnerability basically allow you to, um, interact with the user by injecting some kind of JavaScript code, and this JavaScript can basically do something like stealing the user session or the cookies, uh, maybe also performing an action like deleting a user, or stealing a CSRF token, or it can be used to sometimes execute command on the target system. There's a lot of attacks that can be done with cross-site scripting, and the way you can look if a website is vulnerable to cross-site scripting is basically if you see any user input, and if you try to put in like a JavaScript code, and if that JavaScript code is reflected in the response without any encoding, then that application is basically vulnerable to cross-site scripting. And here we have this application. Let's open it over here. It's basically here we just have a search button. So let's just write something like, or let's write something like hello and see the input. As we can see, the input here is uh, returned in the response, you know. So let's try to inject some JavaScript code here and see if that's gonna work, or it's if the application is secure, it's gonna encode it and it's not going to work. So this is a very JavaScript code which to alert number one. So let's click on search and see if that's gonna pop up, and there we go. As we can see, it pop up one, which means the JavaScript code we injected works. So if we look at the source code over here, you can see here between over edit, you can see here that the JavaScript that we put as user input was reflected in the response without any encoding, and that means this is vulnerable to XSS attacks. So anybody who visiting this URL, for example, gonna have that number one popping up, or we can put that malicious code here. This code is just to prove that this is vulnerable, but we can put another malicious code here, JavaScript code, to steal the user session, do something like CSRF attack, etc., etc. There's a lot of attacks to be done with XSS. But for now, that's it pretty much. Thank you very much, and hope to see you in another video.